But Newcastle lost this game by 2-0. Post-match, I got up close to Newcastle executive Amanda Staveley, and her tone was one of optimism and humility.
Do you know, I was so proud of all of the fans, everybody, and I was crying, and my son was crying. We're all crying. But what was amazing, at 2-0 down, we were flags going, but the passion and everybody's taken us on this journey. We will win the Carabao Cup, we will win the FA Cup, we will win the Champions League, and we will win the Premier League. But this is all about the amazing fans that have taken us on this journey, and we're just honoured and humbled and feel very privileged to help run Newcastle United.
How did you feel when you looked at the numbers of those Newcastle fans there today?
Staggered, really staggered. I was just in awe. I knew it would be amazing. I'm sorry, I really feel bad because I so wanted a win, because I wanted them to have some silverware. It was so important, but we will get there. And the lads played really well. It was a tough game, it was tough luck. Actually, they played really well. And I'm proud of all of the fans. I'm hugely proud of everybody today.
And those fans, Amanda, you must feel it. They have immense faith in you.
We don't really deserve the support we have, I always feel. As owners, we're very, very humbled by what's happened today. And I know Yas has been here with me, and we're just so excited that we got to come. And the scenes in Trafalgar Square last night, everything. But you know what? Next time, we will get there.
What about Amanda Staveley and the ownership at Newcastle now, Simon?
Yeah.
Are you having them more? Amanda Staveley has gone from someone that didn't particularly impress you to now seriously impress you, right?
Well, the one thing that they do deserve is all the plaudits, because without their ownership of this football club and their money, the football club would still be in a condition where the fans were unhappy with Mike Ashley and they would feel that they were going nowhere. Does that mean I like the ownership model? Does it mean I admire any more than I start? Not particularly. I think they've done what they anticipated that they would do. And I don't understand this. It's a PR spin. You knew you were buying a football club, that if you put it into a League Cup final, you would inundate London. So let's have dial down the fake humility and look at the reality of what you've got there. You've got
I don't think it's fake humility, to be fair.
I think it's ridiculous to turn around and say you didn't expect. If I went and bought Newcastle and set the town on fire, I knew that Newcastle get into a cup final, London would be inundated. Right, because that's what you've got. You've got this remarkable fan base.
Is there anything wrong in her congratulating them for meeting the trip?
No, absolutely. I think it's wonderful PR spin, but I do think ultimately that
it's not PR spin.
Well, I think it is. I think
no.
Well, okay.
It's emotional. She's got emotional at the end, and their fans would never have heard that, would they? Under Mike Ashley, that we don't really deserve the fans. Their support is so good. And I think that's heartfelt, isn't it?
But it's preposterous rubbish, because the one thing they do deserve,
No,
that ownership model absolutely deserves those fans being behind them. Because you walk in a football club, you spend more money in that football club in 1 year than Mike Ashley spent in probably 5. You've given it a feel-good factor. You've bought it off the tyrant. The one thing that you do deserve is an absolute supporting fan base. You put it into a cup final.
You should never take that for granted, and she's certainly not taking that for granted.
That's not taking it for granted.
I think she's giving them a bit back here and saying, look,
no one's suggesting they're taking it for granted, but let's get past the sentimental rubbish and look at the reality of what you've got here.
Well,
you've got a football club.
But when Ashley was there, Martin's right. There wasn't this connection between fans and owners. Now there is.
Because I tell you for why, and you're not going to like the answers to this, because it's owners' job to give everything that the fans want, and if you do not, then you're the devil incarnate. Now, currently, these current owners are giving the fans everything they want. They're spending hundreds of millions of pounds on footballers. They're making sure that the centre of the focus is the fans. They're giving them everything they want.
And they back the team.
So they're entitled.
Ashley didn't. They backed the team.
Well, again, they're backing the team, but there'll come a point where there's a disconnect somewhere along the line. But right now, it's entirely appropriate that Amanda Staveley is patted on the back, that the appointments that have been made by her and others are patted on the back. And I would expect, if you cannot be behind what they're doing now, when in God's name would you be behind it?
What do you think of what she said, though? We'll be back and we will win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League. She's now said it. She's out there saying it. Now that's what they've got their sights set on.
But that's what you should be saying if you're an ambitious owner.
The chairman said to me yesterday, we're already at the next level.
Well, that's what you should be saying. But there is a vast difference between being able to compete in the League Cup and start a season very well and overtake Manchester City. That's a vast difference. Manchester City are 15 years ahead of Newcastle. You've got an independent regulator coming into football, that's going to control finances. You've got new governance coming in. It'll be interesting to see if they're going to be able to spend. Eddie Howe's made a big deal of how much they can and can't spend and told everybody they can't spend. So if they're not going to spend £200 or £300 million a season or £150 million or £200 million every single season because they can't, then there's going to be a difficulty. But I do like the fact, I think it's wonderful that she turns around and says that they're going to go after all these things.
Jim, I think she's just trying to reaffirm the belief and the dream and plan that they have at that football club. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, what is wrong
Whether
with
they
that?
go on and do it, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But that is a strong statement from...
Because you'll be judged by it. Because the thing that's wrong with it is that people will then judge you by it, and if you don't achieve it, they'll hoist you by that particular petard. But I think it's ambition, and she's right to be ambitious.
After what we saw at Wembley, actually, I feel this is more the relevant question. Could Manchester United versus Newcastle United become the Premier League's next best rivalry?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.